We didn't even see.
Overwhelming.
We didn't even see,
It's
but I saw the
overwhelming.
logo and I went, "That's my name. Snow White's up there," and I cried my eyes out.
What was it like seeing yourself for the
Are eliminating her from the narrative. How are you? Is Rachel Zegler able to manage the strain of playing such a legendary part after winning over audiences with West Side Story and The Hunger Games? Snow White isn't just any figure. She is the original Disney princess, which is a significant thing. You would think that after being cast in Snow White, Rachel's career would be booming, but she hasn't found any new jobs. What's wrong? And why is this once talented actress having trouble finding work? Hollywood's future project. Let's examine why her career has stagnated and why studios are reluctant to work with her once again. Just the fact that it's not 1937 anymore and we definitely wrote a Snow White means that she won't be saved by the prince and won't be dreaming of true love. Instead, she'll be dreaming of becoming the leader, which she knows she can be. Not all women are leaders, and not all women aspire to be.
Okay, first of all, let's talk about tonight's look, because you look incredible.
Thank you.
Who are you wearing? What was the inspiration?
I'm wearing Ellie Saab. This is really...
Although going to parties and business gatherings was certainly a component of their relationship, Kutcher clarified that their friendship went beyond that. Outside of the glamorous Hollywood environment, they spent time together jogging and connecting over similar experiences. Diddy was a very motivated and competitive person who takes everything he does seriously, whether it's making hit recordings or going for a jog with a buddy. Ashton was cryptic in interviews, hinting at wild parties and nights with Diddy that he couldn't share details about. In one instance, when asked to share some stories about Diddy's legendary parties, Ashton revealed a lot about his friend's lifestyle, beyond the amusing anecdote about running or hanging out. Ashton danced around the topic for a while, before saying, "I can't tell that one. I'm cycling through them, but I really can't tell any of them." Through thick and thin. But these recordings may have shown that she was no longer able to sustain Ashton for a considerable amount of time. Prior to the alleged release of the tapes, Ashton and Mila seemed to have one of the strongest marriages in Hollywood. Mila was devastated. The couple had already faced intense public scrutiny following the Danny Masterson trial, where they faced criticism for writing letters of support for their convicted co-star. Historically and in the future, our work has supported victims. Ashton was seen as a grounded person who was well known for his roles in humorous films and his charitable endeavors. But now that these videos are predicted to reveal him in awkward circumstances at Diddy's parties, many are beginning to wonder how much he really knew about him. Be very cautious with how she discusses this legacy because, although it is a 1937 fairy tale, it may not be relevant today. And that's perfectly okay. As you stated, JJJ, she should just develop a new movie that respects the original storyline. Regardless of your opinion, it wasn't your time. Therefore, you can't just disregard it because you don't like it. She is a really talented communicator, and I like the way she uses phrases like ability to talk.
Are eliminating her from the narrative. How are you? Is Rachel Zegler able to manage the strain of playing such a legendary part after winning over audiences with West Side Story and The Hunger Games? Snow White isn't just any figure. She is the original Disney princess, which is a significant thing. You would think that after being cast in Snow White, Rachel's career would be booming, but she hasn't found any new jobs. What's wrong? And why is this once talented actress having trouble finding work? Hollywood's future project. Let's examine why her career has stagnated and why studios are reluctant to work with her once again. Just the fact that it's not 1937 anymore and we definitely wrote a Snow White means that she won't be saved by the prince and won't be dreaming of true love. Instead, she'll be dreaming of becoming the leader, which she knows she can be. Not all women are leaders, and not all women aspire to be. Wonderful. She is obviously very attractive and cute, but her eliteness makes her feel like I know what's right and you don't. And now you want to apologize, bro. This is how the world works when you use social media. At the insurance conference, for example, we had a debate format where our leaders debated each other. During the event, everyone asked me if I should say this or that. I told them that you can say that, but if you say that, be prepared that he will bow stirred. She will come after you, so don't be upset if they say something like, well, no, that's not fair. Or something like, no, I'm not telling you that. Let's face it, that's just the way the world works. Yes, you read correctly. Rachel Zegler has a reputation for being a whiny brat. Rather than concentrating on her acting abilities, she often gripes about her parts and experiences, which has left many fans and industry professionals scratching their heads.
If you're known for creating trouble and drawing negative attention, you might end up at the bottom of their list after a big role like Snow White. You must deliver something better, and producers want to know they can work with you, not that you'll create. You're an actress, a Disney princess-to-be, and you're saying this stuff when they're hiring someone. Anarchy. If they are concerned about your attitude, it is a serious warning sign. Being professional is more important than just being able to act. When an actor's personality becomes the subject of gossip for the wrong reasons, it makes others wonder how well they'll fit in. If they see someone who may complain a lot or create difficulties, they won't employ them even if they're good. The entertainment business is all about cooperation. Rachel's remarks on the next Snow White film reveal this. Making Snow White more autonomous and approachable was the intended outcome, which sounds great, but here's the catch. In one interview that went viral, Zegler stated that she didn't want the story to be about a prince saving Snow White. She even suggested those scenes with her co-star. Her remarks came out at a tarry time when fans were already disappointed by the trailers. So instead of excitement, it was more like really Zegler. The backlash was so severe that it turned a fun promotional interview into a full-blown PR nightmare. She said, "We definitely wrote Snow White that she's not going to be saved by the prince and that she's not going to be dreaming about true love, but she's going to be dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be." Andrew Burnap, who plays Prince Charming, may not even appear in the film. That's not just a small change. It's like altering a significant aspect of what made the original story unique. I hate that you want to portray Snow White as strong and self-reliant, but eliminating the prince entirely is like creating a lion. Without Simba, the King relaunch seems off. At the D23 Expo, she really took it to the next level by calling the original film's love story about a guy who literally stalks her. Oh no, she didn't. She described it as weird and said they wanted to take a different approach because, get this, it's Hollywood. The original film was about hope, kindness, and dreams, not just a love story. Fans felt that she was trying too strongly to move away from the classic story, almost as if she thought the original was too outdated to be relevant anymore. Really, darling, why turn a charming love story into a spooky one? In a different interview, Zegler casually acknowledged that she had only seen the original Snow White once as a child and had never bothered to watch it again. She said, "I think I watched it once and never picked it up." Calling the prince a stalker is a stretch. He isn't peering through windows or following her around. He's just a prince trying to save the day. Once more, you're starring in a movie that's meant to honor this classic, and you can't be bothered to watch it more than once. Fans said, "Hold on, you're in a movie that's a huge deal and you don't care to learn more about it." It came off as disrespectful, as if she didn't really value Snow White's legacy. It's no surprise that people were upset, and the backlash exploded on TikTok, with one video with
9.5 million people criticized Zegler's remarks, pointing out that the user at Cozy with Angie said that attacking Disney princesses isn't really feminist. Not all women are leaders. Not all women want to be leaders, and not all women are power-hungry. Angie is right when she asks why we should allow princesses to be princesses. According to Zegler, Snow White was never meant to be a leader since she was a symbol of compassion and hope, which is why people adored her, attempting to convert her into a strong figure. Fans aren't saying Snow White must wait for a prince, but rewriting her to fit a modern mold like a leader vying for a throne misses the point. People felt that Disney was turning a classic story into something unrecognizable. It's not just about updating her. It's about respecting the character and not making every heroine the same tough type, ultimately Rachel's. It seems like Disney is embarrassed by its own history. If she truly wants to land more roles and advance in her career, it might be time for her to step back and consider how her attitude affects her future opportunities. She has expressed her dissatisfaction, which may alienate fans and industry professionals. This is especially true when it comes to a legendary role like Snow White, which has made her appear as though she doesn't appreciate the opportunity that has been given to her. It appears Disney has reduced Rachel Zegler's role in their upcoming doomed live-action Snow White remake after she publicly attempted to cancel Gina Carano and send all of her friends after her. It appears that Rachel Zegler is being canceled herself, but with Hollywood actors union SAG and AFTRA currently on strike, Screen Daily reports state that the film is still being made in the UK without her. According to reports, Rachel Zegler is struggling getting parts. She was set to play in Paddington 3, however, the movie was cancelled a few months ago. Zegler, a comic book fan, went so far as to pitch herself for a character who hasn't been introduced in live action on Twitter. Weeks ago, they said it was because of the actors' strike, but many of the actors in Paddington 3 are members of the SAG union, so they are still permitted to appear in the movie. Others speculate that it might have been for another reason, most likely the fallout from the Snow White affair. I'd want to put myself out there.
To play Shara Bay, Poe Dameron's mother, since her ship was a RZ-1, my initials for the Green Squadron. Now let's talk about Rachel's future, which appears uncertain. She recently made headlines for essentially pleading with Disney to cast her in the Star Wars universe, claiming that her initials, RZ, correspond to a ship designation from the Star Wars comics. She argued that her name fits in perfectly with the RZ-1 A-Wing Starfighter series, so it's almost comical when you consider it. When it comes to casting in a major franchise like Star Wars Studios, they look for talent, experience, and a genuine connection to the character. Relying on a coincidence of initials as a reason why she should be cast is not only ridiculous, but it also reveals a fundamental misunderstanding of what it means to be an actor in a universe with deep lore and foreigns stories with a strong focus on characters' boards. Fans swiftly ridiculed her on social media, pointing out how ridiculous this reasoning was. It's not like she's claiming to have experience flying O-wings or a passion for the Star Wars universe. She's just relying on a shallow argument. This isn't just about names. It's about giving a character life with authenticity and depth. Her plea comes across as desperate, especially when you consider the abundance of talented actresses who would jump at the chance to be part of the Star Wars legacy. This kind of reasoning doesn't resonate well with audiences or producers. It feels more like a publicity stunt than a genuine interest in the Star Wars saga. Instead of showcasing her talent or auditioning for the role, she relied on a coincidence that seemed more like a joke than a serious consideration. Having initials that match a fictional ship doesn't carry any weight in the casting process. It doesn't say, "I'm the right fit for this role," but rather, "I'm trying to find a way in any way I can." Tenable potential, but this is where it gets tricky. How is she going to land these roles? People are definitely keeping a close eye on her, and if she starts taking on smaller roles all of a sudden, it could look like she's regressing rather than progressing. Imagine being the lead in a successful movie and then landing a role that's much less important. That's not a good look for an actress trying to establish a strong career. And casting directors and producers are constantly searching for new talent.
She has to keep impressing both critics and audiences, or else she risks being forgotten in the industry or being typecast. Every actress wants to play iconic roles, and Rachel has already landed some of them. She must be careful about the roles she chooses, though, and avoid taking on roles that don't push her or give her the opportunity to MC. If Rachel is genuinely passionate about acting, she has a real chance to build a fantastic career, but she needs to be smart and strategic about her choices by choosing roles that test her abilities and showcase her talent. Otherwise, it could give the impression that she isn't ready for bigger projects. Instead, she should look for films that push her boundaries and help her grow as an actress. That way, she can prove that she's not just a one-hit wonder, but someone who can carry a film and deserves to be in leading roles. It's all about maintaining that momentum and demonstrating to everyone that she is a force to be reckoned with in the film business. So why do you think Rachel Zegler isn't being cast in new movies while being put into lesser roles? This commotion around her makes it hard to believe the studios are just being cautious. Will she ever recover and earn another significant role? Do you think that films like Paddington really replaced her on purpose? Leave a comment below with your opinions, and let's talk about whether Rachel can improve her job.